Welcome to the Data Hall YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about how do we round numbers in R. So this video is isn't just going to talk about rounding numbers, but it is also going to talk about the other related areas that would come in handy. So let's get started. So the function that we use to round a number to the nearest decimal digit or to nearest integer is called round. So let's just say we have this float number that is 2.3. If we round this, it would round it to the nearest integer, right? So the nearest integer would be 2. So anything, if the decimal digit is greater than 0.5 or equal to 0.5, then it would be rounded to the higher number. If it is less than 0.5, then it would be rounded to the nearest lower number. So in this case, it should round to 2. This is what we get, right? Similarly, this should round to 3 because the decimal digit is greater than 0.5. This is what we get. Now, this is an interesting case. What do we think this would round to? Obviously, this would round to 6 because the decimal digit, the digit after the decimal point is greater than or equal to 5. So it should round to 6, right? And let's check this out. So this is what it is. And what should this round to? It should round to 7, but it would be interesting to see that this thing also rounds to 6 because a round does not round it to the higher number, but if it is like the decimal digit is equal to 5 or greater than 5, if it is equal to 5, then it would round it to the nearest even number. In all other cases, it would round to the, like in this case, it would round it to the nearest higher number. But when the digit, the digit after the decimal point is equal to 5, it would round it to the nearest even number. Now in this case, we are rounding it to an integer. What if we want to round it to a specific number of decimal digits? So in this case, we have this float point where we have 5 digits after decimal point, but we do not need that level of precision. What if we just need like 1 digit after the decimal point? So in this case, we would use this digits parameter and we would give the number of digits that we want after the decimal point as an argument, right? The rest of the command or the function would remain same. So in this case, we should get 2.3 because this digits is less than 5 should be rounded to the nearest lower number. Similarly, this would round to nearest higher number. So we should get, because we have 2 digits over here. So the third digit is 5. So this would be rounded to 2.35. Similarly, this should round to 2.34, right? Now these were the rounding numbers. What if we want to get to a higher number, right? For example, we have this vector over here. We have these digits. Now we do not want it to round to the nearest number. We always want it to go to the higher number. Right? For example, this 2.3 should, if we had used the round function, it should have rounded to 2. This is what we saw over here. Similarly, this 2.6, if we were to use the round function, it would round to 3. And these two both would round to 6. This is not what we want. If this is what we wanted, we would use round. But what we want is to be rounded to the higher digit, right? So this should become 3. Similarly, even though it is the digit after the decimal point is less than 5, but it should round to the nearest higher number. Similarly, this should be rounded to 3. and this should round it to 6, and this would be rounded to 7. So the function that we are using is ceiling, because we want it to go to the higher number, to the ceiling of that number. This is what we get. If we want it to be rounded to the nearest lower number, then we would use the floor function. So this should become 2. Similarly, this would become 2, and this would become 5. This one would be 6, right? Now the issue with ceiling and floor function is that with the round function, we do have this argument, this parameter that is called digits, that take the digit numbers, the number of digits that we want after the decimal point. Otherwise, it would return us an integer. But with ceiling and floor, we do not have that parameter available. It would always return us an integer. What if we wanted a decimal, a specific number of decimal digits after a decimal point, and still want to go to a ceiling? So for example, this is the number that we have. If let me remove this and let me use the ceiling function with this one, and let's see what we get. It is rounded to the nearest higher digit, but this isn't to the nearest higher integer. This isn't what we want. We want it to have at least one decimal digit after the decimal point. Now there is a trick that we can do. We can first divide it by 0.1 and then multiply it 0.1, and if we do that, we would get the single digit after the decimal point and still be rounded to the nearest higher number. Then there is this function called trunc, and what it would do, it would not round the numbers, but rather delete anything that comes after the decimal point. So anything that comes after the decimal point would be deleted. This is exactly similar to this as.integer function. So these two would give us the same results. What if we have an integer, and now in this case we do not have a decimal point, right? In all other cases we had a decimal digits. We had a float number, but what if we have an integer and we want it to be rounded to the nearest 1000? So this is 123,000, right? So we do not want these numbers to appear, rather we want them to be replaced with zeros. So we give an argument to this digit parameter, and that is -3. In this case, what it would do is it would round it to the nearest integer, right? Okay, then let's say we have this vector which is called num, and if we want to have a significant number, then we would use the significant function, and it would round it to the significant nearest significant number. There is a specific formula that it used to round it off to the significant number. What if we were to use the round, then it would round it differently. The significant is different than round, and if you go to the help menu, you can see what formula it uses to round it to the nearest significant number. So I hope this video was useful. Do subscribe to this channel and do hit the bell icon.